Hello everyone, my name is Ryan McKinley, and I'm going to be talking about operating systems. Now, more specifically, I'm going to be talking to you about what operating system is the best out of Windows PC, Mac, and Linux. Now, before you get upset about how I might disagree with which one you like best, just wait till the end, and maybe you won't be as mad as you thought you were going to be. Alright, so when getting a computer, a main factor is what operating system is going to be running on that system. The Windows or PC family accounts for more than 80% of all the operating systems used. Mac comes in at second, at a very far behind second, with just under 10%. Linux, one you might have not heard of, comes in at 5%. Many people, without knowing anything more than their own experience, will argue for why the operating system that they use is in fact better than everyone else's. Before you make a fool of yourself, though, you should know what each of the three operating systems can do. Windows has an obvious advantage from the start. With over 80% of the market in its hands, it's almost impossible to miss it. A main reason for this is that the fact that almost any program will run on Windows. Any application, driver, game, you name it, it most likely will work on Windows. With all these programs that people can use, there is an immense amount of functions that Windows can perform. One major concern, though, is viruses. Some viruses the average person may have heard of are things like malware, trojans, and keyloggers. Malware and trojans download software onto computers and slow down the system or make programs run that the user cannot control. Keyloggers are the more dangerous type of virus. They download a program into the background of your computer, put everything that you type into a text file, and then this allows the person controlling the virus to see everything that you've typed. This could potentially be your account username and passwords, or even credit card information. The operating system that Windows has put into the most arguments against is Mac. Mac was the first successful graphical-based operating system being released 1 year before Windows' Microsoft counterpart. Now, before the whole graphical-based system, they just had command-line systems where there was no screen, and it was just you type stuff in to make programs. The main focal point that Mac users turn to is that their systems do not get viruses. The reason for this is because Windows' 80% of the market takes up everything, and compared to Mac's 10%, people don't have much success creating viruses for Mac, so they go for the much bigger percentage. Recently, though, a virus was released that has spread over 600,000 Apple computers that will hopefully finally put that cliche to rest that Macs do not get viruses. Lastly, very few programs will run on Mac, and with that, almost no games will run on it as well. A little less known operating system that has been trying to work its way up is Linux. Linux has one very big selling point. It's free. Right now, anyone could look up Linux on the internet, find it, download it, and install it for a grand total of $0. Linux right now is not a full operating system, it's what people call a kernel. Since it is not a full operating system, it needs to be put with other software. Common things that people use are systems called Ubuntu, Mint, or Fedora. The labs in the engineering building here at BSU use the Fedora version of the Linux kernel. Also, like Mac, Linux gets very few viruses on account of its size. Linux is very complicated, and because of this, a person would need to have a good amount of background knowledge with programming and software development to use it effectively. Like Mac, since Linux has about 5% of the operating system market, very few programs and games will run on it. The main issue with Linux is that it cannot be found being sold by commercial vendors. It's more of a do-it-yourself kind of deal. With all this said, Windows is without question the best operating system. It is the most widely used of all the operating systems. Of all the downsides, it has the one that can be easily fixed. The whole virus thing, all you need is antivirus software. It's rapidly updated. New versions are released quickly. The latest version of Windows, which is Windows 7, was the fastest selling operating system in history. It's just easy to work with, and almost all the programs that people can want are available for it. Just because Windows is the best operating system by these standards, it doesn't mean the other ones are bad. People have different opinions and different needs, and sometimes people just cannot use anything other than what they've always been using. Given these facts, Windows is the best overall operating system, but people will still have their own personal preferences. Thank you.